What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Bonk's price is falling fast, leaving a lot of investors wondering what in the world is going on. And so in today's video, I'm going to try to do my best to explain what I think is happening and what I'm doing as a result of it. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. Now guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade a little bit of Bonk yourself on up to 25x leverage, you can use that Margex link down below. This is where I do the vast majority of my trading. You don't have to KYC. You can literally just sign up and start trading. That means that you don't have to hand over any of your personal information, but they are going to give you up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards if you do use specifically my link down below. So take advantage of that. Don't miss out on that. Check out that Margex link down below. Now, looking at Bonk here, what we can see is that things have gotten quite interesting. Of course, unless you live under a rock, I'm sure you have seen this move that it made. I mean, this bad boy has literally gone up 123% over the last week or two, leaving investors to be really stunned, to be honest. It kind of just happened out of nowhere. It was consolidating, and then bang, bam sauce to the upside. Absolutely smashed it. Now, before I talk about the fact that we are seeing it pull back right now and what I expect to happen in the future, let me give you a little bit of context as to what Bonk has been up to, because I think there's a lot of stuff happening right here that people don't recognize. So of course, since we did see that initial pump and then dump, which most cryptos do when they first launch, Bonk's actually had a rather stable year. You know, you can see the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows, and rather consistently validating this range in which it's been in towards the upside here and towards the downside here to here, right? This is kind of like our little range. Here's your resistance range right here. Here's your support range right here. And Bonk pretty much has been able to maintain this bad boy since March or April of this year, which is a good sign. You know, when you see a crypto that is this new and had this much hype when it first launched, and then it absolutely goes to shit, you do want to see that it's able to find some stability and maintain, because this is what allows for longevity. So this is a great sign. But interestingly enough, as we have been making our move towards the upside of this range this time, something is different. Well, what you can see is different is that since we entered the range, so let's just go ahead and call it since right here, okay? From this point forward, something has never happened that is now happened. So what we can see is that Bonk has set about 4 macro highs, 3.5 or 4. Macro high 1, macro high 2, macro high 3, macro high 3.5. And if you recognize, every single macro high that Bonk has put in has been a lower high, a lower high, a lower high. And so although we were being stable within this range, you have to understand the fact that we were not seeing the same momentum on any of these pumps, which was a waning of momentum, a waning of volume, meaning people were being less and less interested. But as we did get good news today, and as things did pop up, what you can see here is that Bonk's price is actually pushed back into this resistance zone to the top side, and for the very first time has set a macro higher high here on its charts since we entered into this range in February of this year. And so if you were, of course, just looking at this, you would think it's just range bound. But once you start to break it down and recognize that this is the first macro high that it's really ever set, then you can start to understand that this might truly be a change of trend, and Bonk might actually be getting prepared to start making these beautiful moves up towards the upside, maybe even clearing this range and looking for these higher pushes towards the 7 or 8 or 9 level. So overall, your context here is that although it is range bound, this is the first time that it's set that new higher high, and that's a great sign. So getting to the modern day, okay, we got this move to the upside, and now we're currently down about 9% in just the last few hours. What in the world is going on? Why is this pullback happening? And what does it mean? So, why is this pullback happening? Well, this pullback is happening quite simply because Bonk ran into a massive resistance zone. What you can see here is that we got smoke to the downside right here, smoke to the downside right here. And quite frankly, a lot of bears expect that that's going to happen here, and so do a lot of bulls. And so bulls are taking profits as they get up here, and bears are stepping in and shorting this thing, pushing its price lower and lower and lower. Now, this isn't just a random level that this is happening at as well. Of course, there is that resistance up there, but if we do draw in our macro Fibonacci zones, what you can see is that Bonk actually saw a full Fibonacci extension up past this 1.618 level, which historically is the point in which Bonk's price will try to come back towards the downside. So it hits a full breakout to the upside, interacts with this massive zone of resistance, and now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. Guys, I need you to understand, this is very, very, very normal. When a crypto hits a major resistance zone and a breakout target, it's gonna pull back. People are going to take profits. That is what they do. Does that mean that it can't continue higher? No, absolutely not. But it just means that it needs to cool down a bit. You look at your RSI, this thing is higher than it's been basically since the launch, or since the second pump after the launch back in friggin' March of this year. The highest has been there. This is at an 80 right now. It's super overextended. You look at your Bollinger Bands. This thing is extremely overextended outside your Bollinger Bands, way too far. So of course it's going to pull back. Of course it's going to cool down a little bit. That's what you want to see it do. This is healthy, this is normal, and this is natural. And that's why I'm not worried about it. That's why I'm not stressing about it. Could it come back down lower? Yeah, absolutely. This bad boy could come all the way back down to this 2658 level. We might see it pull back another freaking 20% towards the downside, come back and try to turn this previous point of resistance right here into some support. That's totally normal. But at the end of the day, even if that does happen, it's not something I'm worried about. Bonk has consistently been putting in higher macro lows. Macro low 1, macro low 2, macro low 3. Consistent higher lows. And now that we've gotten the higher high, it wouldn't shock me at all if we come back down and we do try to find some support and use that support to continue upwards and finally try to clear this massive resistance zone. And so yes, although its price is pulling back right now and it's a little bit scary, you know, sure, that may be the case. But in the grand scheme of things, this is normal, natural, and healthy. This is what you want to see happen in a situation like this so that you can allow those indicators to cool off. Your bulls can relax, they can calm down, and then they can step in and make some moves. And I'll let you know now, if Bonk's price does come back to this 26, you know, this little 2698, 2658 level or so, I'm going to be doing a little bit of buying on this because I do think Bonk's going to try to flip that resistance into support and use it to continue upwards. And so, of course, I will continue to update you as this does play out. Maybe this bad boy doesn't even break back down there. Maybe it finds some support on top of this previous point of resistance, builds up a foundation here, and continues upwards. You never really know, but that's the fun part about crypto. We're going to find out, baby. And so with that in mind, I will continue to keep you guys updated, but I really wanted to just let you guys know this isn't something to be scared of. This isn't something to be worried about. There's moments like this that happen, and you just have to understand that that's a part of the game. And so I wouldn't want you to worry about that. I actually did talk about this over in my Patreon just about an hour and a half ago or so, and I will let you guys know if you do want to join the Patreon, you can join for as little as $1 a month. You'll be able to talk to me, ask me questions, talk to the community, and much more. And for $5 a month, you can get access to my thoughts and insights. You can get daily fundamental analysis, daily technical analysis. You can join the community, and I am going to be posting some beginners courses, some crash courses on technical analysis and fundamental analysis and stuff like that for some of you who need it. And so with that in mind, do check that out down in the comments below, in the description below. I also have a second YouTube channel that you can check out called the Crypto Catch Up, where I do broad market analysis. That's also available down there for you. So go explore that description box, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.